over.
Oh. Okay, this is the best one. All right, so
It shows everything. I want something that shows everything.
yeah,
It doesn't have to be cropped
this
out.
shows everything. That's what I was going for.
Okay.
So let me take it over here. I don't know where it's going to wind up with you because I'm going backwards here. Here, I'm going to put it on All About Drawing 2, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay, let me put this, and then I'm gonna change screen. Okay, so yeah, that's a thing about when you go on location. So just do a little preamble here. And I remember when I first started doing plein air painting, I would get to a location and you get this energy, you've got these people, and you're like, I gotta find something. They're already set up, they're drawing, they're painting, and I'm doing nothing. What do I do?
I'm walking around, yeah.
And you go into this, oh my gosh. And I remember calling Mark, you know, I'm on the other side of the Ohio. I'm calling Mark, oh my God, what do I do? And I'm crying to him about it. And he gave me the best advice. He's not an artist. And he goes, Michelle, just take 15 minutes. And and you did it. You sat and you looked and you found a location. You felt good looking. Now let's start. We're going to look at this. What I'm looking at the tree, and I can see that's the dominant thing. You've got that tree centered right in the middle of this. And that's where you'll take your viewfinder and you'll start looking at what you see. In the viewfinder, you can take your camera too, but the viewfinder is really nice because it blocks out what you're looking through. It creates a frame. So it's starting to take your mind from 180 degrees, all these people, all this energy, and I could tell that you're pulling in all this energy, all these other people, you're just sucking it all up. And now all of a sudden it gives you a place to say, oh, this is what I'm looking at. And when I'm looking at a viewfinder, I'm looking at a vertical, a horizontal. I'm moving it out. I'm moving it in. A lot of times, and a trick that I do a lot of times is just, I even do this. I turn it so it's this. I'll angle it a little bit.
What's angling it do? If you angle it, what does that do when you angle it?
I don't have any words to explain it.
Okay. Did I just go over your head? No.
You're making me use my brain.
Oh, gee.
It's just it's a trick that I do. And I usually twist it away from me like this. And I can't give you a reason why.
Okay. I'll have to try it.
And just try that and see if it shifts it, it flattens it, it does something for me. And and another trick that I do, and I'm not sure that I want to tell you my tricks right now or stay on board. Let's stay on board. Remind me when I do a watercolor, say, Michelle, when you do here, I'll make a note because this makes it super easy. Okay. It makes it super easy. So you're looking at this, and I'm looking at this scene. So I think I'm going to flip the camera and we're going to start to zero in on it to create a good composition. So I'm going to change the camera.
Well, I'm making you work.
This is fun because I love, okay, how do I say this? And I've never actually, I do this in one of my drawing classes, but not a lot. I don't usually do this. So this is super exciting. Okay, let me,
Yeah, that's what I should have done that. I took a picture of just the sculpture because I couldn't see it because of my eyes.
right. Oh,
But I didn't.
okay.
But
Wait a minute. I gotta ask you a question.
sure.
This is super important. Okay. So tell me your limitations with your eyes, because if I'm asking you to draw in a tiny little space and you're having trouble seeing, that's abusive. So if you say, Michelle, I need to draw a little bit bigger because of my eyes, then we gotta work with that. Do you hear what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I'm I'm okay so long as like it's in front of my face.
Okay.
I'm okay if it's in front of my face. It's like when like you're looking at this scene, right? The sculpture, I couldn't make out the sculpture at all. I didn't know that his leg was crossed. So what I did was I took a picture of the sculpture so that I could make it. And then I cut the sculpture down. I took the sculpture and so I just only had the sculpture so that I could draw the sculpture.
Oh, so the sculpture is the man sitting on that's not a human.
Yeah. Yes. So let me
Oh, see, I
send
didn't
you
even
that.
understand what that was. Okay.
Yeah. Let me
All
send
right.
that to you. I'll send that to you, Messenger.
But if
Uh,
you have a limitations, you gotta tell me. Okay.
the limitations is like I'm like far away. All
Got it.
right. Like I could not make out the sculpture. Now I just sent it to you. So that's what I had to do for the sculpture so that I could draw the sculpture. I drew the sculpture from my phone.
Oh, got it. Okay. So
Isn't he cute?
it's adorable.
Yeah.
Let me save it. Okay. All right. Let's go back to the camera.
Okay.
So we've taken our viewfinder and we found a location.
Mm-hmm.
And let me get. Okay. So now let's start cropping it, because right now when I do the crop, do you see what's right in the center of the picture?
Yes.
So when I do can you see the lines here?
Yes.
That's right in front of you've got it bullseye.
Yes.
So we're going to crop out some of the stuff down here. And when you think about doing a composition, you want to think about how your eye is going in to the drawing or into the picture. And right now, something that you're fighting against is you've got this line right here.
Yes. I ignored that.
Yes. It is kind of nice because there's a diagonal. So we definitely want to crop all that out because there's nothing down here. So then we have a bunch of noise all through going down here.
It was those are mariachi sculptures.
Oh, those are fun too.
Yeah. I mean, the place was amazing.
So that would have been fun to go. Okay, let's stay in here. So you're in love with the tree and you talk about, wait a minute, we've got an interesting sculpture here.
Yes.
And you got these other little things here. So what happens if we start that? So now we're going to start editing.
Oh, see, you're moving it so it's not in the center.
Do you see how it's starting to change?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
And then there's nothing really, you definitely don't want this, the umbrella right here. That's not helping. This back here, just because of the value, is nice. Don't look at it as windows or anything like that. We're just kind of looking at it as in a shape in the background.
Okay.
You don't really need all that top, or maybe we do. This gets too close, I think. Yeah. Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
I think having some tree up there is nice. What if we do this? I'm putting the tree on that third. Do you see that?
Yes.
Now we've got the tree ball is up here. And now we're starting to look at the light to the dark. Do you see all this? Oh, don't do that. I'm going to edit one more. What happens if I go up here? We can't because he's right on the edge of the drawing. That gets a
Yeah.
little
He's got his
weird.
foot off. Yeah. He just lost his toes.
Okay, what happens if we open up this? So I
I never
shift.
thought to do that on my phone.
Yeah,
I've cropped, but that's all I do, and I've cropped to enlarge something that I'm drawing, but that's all I
right.
do. I never thought to make the placement, I never thought to place it
Compose.
on the,
I'm
yeah,
composing I'm
yeah,
in edit. I'm starting to compose the drawing.
yeah.
So let me do this. I made the, okay, let me do this. I want to do a screenshot. Oh, that's odd. And then, oh, okay. And then edit. So what I did is I made the sculpture as a focal point.
Okay.
But then the tree is a little bit, it's okay. And then let's shift it. Let's shift it here. And then we'll look at the difference. Okay. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to here. So now we do the eye test. 1 or 2.
Oh, nice.
Which one feels better?
I like the two better.
This one?
No, the other one. I like the other one better. What do you think? I like the other one better. See, but but I'm always centering stuff rather than putting stuff on the side.
That gets a little bullseye.
Yeah.
I think this for me is more interesting because
Yes.
when you look at it, and we could do one more thing. I'm gonna do a, because you're working in black and white. Let's do this. And I'm going to turn it to black and white, monochromatic. So I'm taking away all the color.
Yep.
Now I'm starting to look at the design of the light and the shadow. And I wish the sculpture had a little bit of light on the face, and he may have it, and you could force that. it would be a little bit more interesting. And then let's do the same here. Edit. And when you compose, you're looking at a balance between shadow and light, the light and dark, and you're looking at how you're leading the eye through the drawing. So
In the black and white, I like this one better.
yes, and it's, do you know why?
The other one better. I
Yeah.
like in the black and white. That one.
This one's nicer because do you see how the dark is through here? There's some light down here, but that you can blend it off. So that creates your eye. Let's see how, so when I'm looking at this, okay, this is nice. I'm like, let's see, how do I use the pencil? There we go. So when I'm looking at this, I'm going to go bigger. Okay, can you see that red?
Yes.
Okay, so when you've got this nice shadow down here, you're coming up, you're going over, we're going to come up into this area. So now it creates, we have this leading thing here becomes our focal point. This is nice. Everything's pulling you into this area.
Yeah, see, I never even used those things. I like this. You know what it did to me? The tree, the way the dark is on the tree, like a sad face, right? That
Yes.
pulled me down to the man. That pulled me down to the sculpture.
Yes,
this one.
right here.
Yes.
And
tree did. The tree pulled me down.
Yes,
to
it
the
creates
sculpture.
this right in here, doesn't it?
Yes.
Oh, then he becomes your
Focal point.
focal point. So
Right.
when you're drawing this, you don't have to put all this detail. Let me grab a piece of paper. Check.
So what do you do with that spot that has all that detail back there? I like the things that are on the grass here, underneath the tree in the shade.
Yeah.
I like those things that are over there, but the background people, the mariachi band, how do you get rid of them?
You don't draw them.
But it's dark back there. It's a dark. So what do I do with that darkness that the mariachi band is giving me back there?
Okay, these are great questions. So to draw this, okay, I'm gonna disappear real quick. I used to do this all the time. I put in my thirds. I would just lay them in real quick.
Okay.
And this could be kind of where I and I'll show you a quicker way, but right now I start with this. And the tree, I don't want to necessarily put the tree in the center, so I'm going to shift it over here. No. This one. Let me do this. Okay, so the sculpture is right here. The tree is here. So I'm staying within what I'm not going to show. So I don't want to do that.
Okay.
Okay. So I've got the sculpture here. This is the ground here. The shadow comes down here. I'm going to have a little bit of an angle on this foreground here.
Hmm.
Do you see that shape right there? I'm
Mhm.
going to go ahead up here for the windows. That comes back here behind the tree. Here's a tree ball. Here's the base of the tree. Soft edge for the tree ball. Oh, it's starting to happen. Can you feel it?
Yes.
It's starting to happen. I haven't really addressed the sculpture at all. Just really his guitar is the only thing that shows in the light. Okay, keep going. Marionettes are these Moroccan things, the dancers back here. I'm not showing any detail back there.
Okay.
What I'll
But it,
do by showing that edge in like the hats,
okay. So you just impress, you're just
indicate,
making an impression of something back there.
yeah, like, do you see them?
Yes, I do.
And there's no details because
No.
they're in the background. They're back there. And when you're
Yes,
looking at the focal point, you're looking here.
that's right.
And when you stare at this becomes out of your focal, right?
Okay. Yep.
So when you draw, you want anything in the background to be anything outside of your focal point to be soft edge. And then I'm not sure that I'm even liking, okay, there, there. And then, let's see. Now I'm going to start laying in some tree fluff back there, tree fluff back here. Okay. And then the tree itself, this is a really important line. You mentioned that.
Yeah,
And,
because that frames him.
and
It protects him.
that's an important one. And then everything else just supports them, the tree. Okay, quick. And you could do, you're good with your trees and creating this. This one comes out here. And I'm working on the side of my and these are fun because they're just a little gesture in here.
Mhm.
It's kind of dance. I love dancing with my vine charcoal. And then this area right here is interesting, so I'm going to pull that out. That's the building here. This edge right here is important. The tree here is important. Okay, here, this window is important. Here, there's a little bit of a light down here, so I'll just pull that out, drop that down. And then there's some things here, these things, they're just things, they're just shapes. I'm not gonna worry about it. Okay, let's do some of these pots. This pot comes up here. That little thing right here.
So you think that those pots with the plants in it and on basically on the foreground alongside of the sculpture are important to put in? See, I
Um,
never put anything. I only put in the guy in the tree. I didn't do any of that other stuff. You're
well,
fascinating me.
the thing about putting the other stuff, it gives a sense of place. And it supports. This pot supports. So you got here, and I put it in the wrong place. So what's nice, do you see the still life? It's
Yes.
three objects, and they support each other nicely. And let's see. And what's nice about this pot, it's this light that's on it. You see this edge? That's nice.
Yes.
And then the tree ball, the topiary thing. Yeah. So that's nice. This guy, I mean, it's not a very pretty thing. So you could put it in if you want. It's not, do you see how I'm like indicating without it's there, but not putting a lot of effort into it?
Mm-hmm. I knew you should have come with me, Michelle.
You're what's impressive is you're learning so much about, I
I
love,
never would have done what you're doing. It's just amazing. And like even the sketches that I was looking at, we have a woman that does pen and ink.
oh,
And
those are nice.
she actually did Gene, all
Yeah,
right, because he was painting, or he was doing, his sketching.
right.
And what she did was, there's a sunflower garden there, and she actually took those sunflowers from the garden and framed Gene with the sunflowers, totally not where he is, but she took them. Like someday I want to be able to be artist enough to say, wow, boy, I could take those sunflowers and I can frame this whole drawing that I just did, and it'll look so neat, right? Someday I want to be at that position where I want to be able to do that.
You can do that. That's she's
I
being
don't
more
even
of a
I don't even
decorative.
think of doing things like that. I
Well,
don't even think of doing things like that.
I she's more of a decorative painter. Um, she's creating a design using being inspired by the elements that she sees.
Yeah, that's what she
Mhm.
did. Yeah, and then she did it, and then she did I'll send you her drawings. She's amazing. I keep telling her, I says, you got to be out of your brick doing pen and ink.
Marilyn, you are an amazing, you have, okay, I gotta look at you. You have a natural gift if you let yourself go.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. But what you're doing,
We're going to get rid of the ifs. We're going to get rid of the ifs. When you allow yourself,
mhm,
when you allow yourself to just play,
yeah,
you're gonna amaze yourself. And I'm speaking to you because I had the same thing. I want to do a palette knife painting. I wanted to do it for 15 years, and I did not do it. And the minute I did it, I felt that rush of, oh,
yeah,
and I know you know that feeling because you did it with my trees. And that,
yes,
and you could see that was a composed drawing. I cropped it and edited it. And you once you have that cropped and edited, you said it just happened. So
yeah.
you might be fighting your composition. You're making something work
I want it.
because
Yeah, that's it right there. I want to make it work. I want to
you
make it
want to
work.
make it
You
work.
just said it right there. I want to make it
So
work.
you're learning how to compose. You're learning how to compose.
Mm.
Okay. So let's go back to this and then you can see, we'll talk about it.
I'm just gonna grab my eye drops. I'll be right back.
Okay.
2 seconds.
Take your time.
Okay.
All right. This
See,
is,
even the sculpture, I had to make it perfect. I erased, I made it perfect. I erased, I fixed it. I erased, I fixed it on the sculpture.
but when we look at it, when I look at this sculpture, when I look at this guy and I look at his shapes, let's look at his basic shapes. See,
Well, that's how I did his face. I did the shapes the way you did. I made like the line and the line and I went down his face by shapes.
and it's really, it's, you've got this shape,
Right.
you have a little triangle here, you have a triangle here, a little thing here, and you got his one leg. That's it.
Yeah.
I've got a sharp edge here for his hat. I come down for his face, a little triangle here. I've got a little triangle, like a little here. I've got the arm and I've got the leg. That's it.
Yeah.
And you get the sense.
Yeah.
You
I had to
get,
make it so simple. Yeah.
but that's it. That's, yeah. And you can do this too. I'm not looking at his nose and his nostrils and the little thing. I'm just,
Oh, I was. I looked at
Ye-
his nose. I shadowed it. It's just like, oh my God, I can't believe
but,
what I did.
and it was super tiny and, and really, and I exaggerated, I made him bigger. That's, but you get the sense of the location. Do you see?
Yeah.
And this is the sharpest edge.
Yeah. His hat. Yep.
His hat
The
and
edge.
this line.
Yeah.
These are the tightest edge. The dancers back here, if I put all the detail back here,
It'll pull away.
do you see how it's starting to
Yeah.
distract from here?
Yeah. It'll pull
Versus
away.
if I indicate soft
Mhm.
edge, you see them, but this is the focal.
Yeah. Wow. You did video this, right? Nice.
Yes, it's recorded.
Nice.
So I'm not really, anything in the background just becomes a shape. I didn't put any of the windows in there. I put a little bit an indicator of the sign, but not a lot because remember, this is in the light, this is in the shadow. Do you see the difference?
Right.
This is a
Yep.
lighter value. So just indicate. This line is nice. This edge right here is nice. Yeah.
And you did not make the path in the front of that building between the sculpture and the building in the picture. Not so much, if you're looking at it, not so much on the left hand side, it's a little muted, but on the right hand side, as you're looking at the picture, it's very, very, very light. You
Right here?
You didn't make it. No, on the right side of the picture.
Right here?
In front of the mariachi band. Like the corner of the building on the right is very, very bright. And then that path in front of it is very, very bright. And you didn't do that either. You kind of like, put it there because it's there, but you didn't make it stand out like it does on the photo.
So
Do you understand what I'm saying?
I do. So let's talk about that. When I look at this path, the sharpest
Right.
edge is here in the front. Do you see that?
Right.
So if I get a little bit of an edge right here, that's it. The
Right.
edge on the background is a soft edge.
Yeah. Right.
So you get a sense of the path without saying path. And then even
Yeah.
over here, I want to go ahead and keep you on the page. So I'm just doing a little indicator over here and that's it.
That's it.
Because a little light and that's it. And then even this should be darkened. So then, do you see how everything, all roads lead to the sculpture?
Yeah. Yes.
And then you can go in and start playing with and it's the edge between, this looks like what defines these leaves are the edge between the light and the dark.
Yep. Right.
Not inside. And that's what we got. Do you have another one? Another picture we can play with?
Another picture. Oh, look, I got tons of pictures.
I will.
Here's my.
Okay, I'm gonna send this.
I get so frustrated with when I'm out because it's like I do when I started, I go, I need to make this right. And right away, I kind of like jam myself up, I guess.
So the best way to handle that is to, that's huge. The awareness is the first thing. You know, you go out and you get jammed up because you want it to be perfect. So, and whenever I do like, I'm doing all this stuff online, creating a business online, and I sit down in this chair in front of my computer and I want it to be done.
Yeah.
I just want it to be done. And I'm like, okay, and I've got all this stuff running in my head. It's got to be perfect. What are people going to think? Blah, blah. And we have to cut through that noise because we're not sitting down to be finished. We're sitting down, and I'm talking to myself, we're sitting down to learn, to experience, to be, to try, to have this process, because we know that process of drawing, that's the fun part. You get to be with all these people, you
Yeah.
get to experience this place, you get to have people come up to you and talk to you. And it's not necessarily about getting a perfect, beautiful, finished drawing. It's about the process and being present and learning, discovery. Because we found that when we allow ourselves to do that, you will naturally get better.
Yeah.
And giving yourself that space to slow down now, as you practice and do it, you will get quicker. It will just naturally happen.
Nice. You're good, Michelle.
That makes sense, doesn't it? It will naturally happen. But if you short wire it and gotta get done now,
yeah,
what happens?
I don't do that when I do that not with the artwork. I don't do that with the artwork, like I have to get it done now. I don't do that with my art. But what I do with my art is I normally take these things and I put them onto my computer. What I do with my art is that I want it to be perfect. And I just, instead of just playing with it, like you took that picture and you just played with it.
Okay, let's talk about perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You just played with it.
Perfect. Now I do have some history. I totally understand.
I'm a controlling person.
I know I do but the problem with perfect, question, who decides what's perfect? Who decides that? And when we're trying to do something that's perfect, it's something outside of ourselves, right? What we think it should be. And the problem with that is we're no longer being present and experiencing and letting it be.
That's right.
And you've experienced it. You experienced it with my trees. You said, what did you say about that when you drew that?
Oh,
It
they were
just,
so much fun.
and it just happened.
Yeah.
You were
Yeah.
just merely the human being holding the vine circle. That's it.
Yes.
It
Yes.
just happened. So
Yes.
hold on to that feeling, because when you get out and you see all this noise, now you know, okay, I've got my viewfinder, I've got my boards,
Yeah. I'm
I
gonna
can
do
center
that.
in, I can center in. And you could do this, what I did is a thumbnail sketch. I did a thumbnail sketch. You could do that. And this is how I would start a drawing. I would start with this very loose, and then I'd go
Very
into the,
loose.
and then I'd go in. I would be able to take this and turn it into a finished drawing. Or I can say, this is done.
Yeah.
Because Marilyn, you get to decide what perfect is. You get to decide. You get to decide when it's done. You have total control over all that. And when we're looking at other people and saying, "Oh, I wish I could do what they're doing,"
Yeah, I did that. I did that because it wasn't the it wasn't the finished product that they did. It was how they I was going to use the word attack, but that's the only one that's coming to my brain.
composed, how they
It was,
composed the
yeah, it was
drawing.
how they composed in their brain how they were going to do it. That I don't, that it's not the finished product, because
Right.
the finished product the finished product of course was beautiful because of how they composed it in their brain. What they were going to do was what they were looking at.
So that you were inspired. There's something about them that
Yeah.
inspires
Yeah.
you. And you're like, well, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that you could play with. So she's taking elements and, she has her focal point, Jean,
Yeah.
and she's looking around. She's like, ooh, those sunflowers are pretty cool. So then she's shifting her focus and she's putting those sunflowers in there.
Yeah.
That's it. Now, if Marilyn does that, your outcome is going to be totally different. But you could
From
take that,
hers. Yeah. Of course.
inspiration
Yeah.
and try.
The
And
fact that she did it, the fact that she actually did it.
and she was probably saw something that influenced her to do it.
Mm.
She probably saw something. You go to an art museum, you go to an art gallery, I see stuff, I'm like, oh, dang it, they did it. I wish I would have done it. But I'm inspired by what they did.
Yeah. Yes.
And that's, seeing these really loose paintings, and like, I want to do that. And then I sit and paint, and I tend to paint with a brush tighter. And I learned that if I want to loosen up, I grab a palette knife. So I'm getting my own, you get your own thing by being inspired by other people.
Mm-hmm.
It's just back to the perfectionist and the being perfect. We talked about that. When you do things that look exactly like what you're looking at, it's boring.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's boring. No one comments. Unless if you're really good at it and it's big, then you're going to get noticed. But when you're putting all the details, it's annoying. There's no way for you to even to get into the drawing. It's boring.
Mm. Like the stones on the beautiful missions here.
Yeah.
Like the stones on
Do
the
you have a
walls
picture
of
of it?
the beautiful missions here. Well, that's not the one I sent you,
Oh, you just sent me. I heard it being.
but I will
Okay.
go back, because I was going to send you this one because of the wall, but maybe I should send it to you because I have a hard time with these walls. And you would probably make it so simple.
No, rocks are hard.
Rocks are hard.
Rocks.
We get this
No,
a lot.
rocks are easy. Rocks are a challenge.
Yeah, we get this a lot in San Antonio. Messenger.
The problem I would have with painting where you're at is okay. So I sent the thumbnail sketch too that I did.
Oh, good, thank you.
All right, so let's look at this. Okay.
Which one are you looking at? The one with the water or the one with the walls?
The one with the tree right in the middle of the composition.
Oh, I know, right? That's the one that I was telling. Remember, I was telling you that I wanted to be near Cheryl, and that's that was the only decent view that I had. But you're right. Put the tree right squat in the middle.
Oh my gosh, Marilyn.
Oh,
Okay,
Michelle.
we're gonna do a little intervention here because this is hilarious.
Yeah.
Okay, when we take a photo, we look at the subject and we shift left and we shift right. Okay, and you saw how I'll show you.
I moved around a lot to get that.
And you center.
I did because I wanted the hole. I wanted that hole, and it just happened to be where the tree was. But I could have moved the tree and kept the hole. See, right?
I'm going to show you. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm going to show you what Nancy, for our one-on-one, we did composition also. So I love this. I love this. But okay, I'm going to share. I'll show you what she found.
Stuck.
Okay. She took a picture of this rose.
Uh-huh.
And when we edited it, let's see, I don't know if I could change it. So right here, let's see. Okay, this is a picture. And when I edit, look at the bullseye.
It's right squat in the middle.
It's right squat in the middle.
Yeah.
So when I do this to it.
I don't have those lines on mine.
Oh, I didn't. I drew. Here, wait, I'll do it. I'll go through the edit process. I talked about, that was something that I shared with her. Okay, so I'll go through the edit process. So right now, the flower is right in the middle, right?
Yes.
And I want to edit, I want to recompose this photo so it's more interesting.
Oh, I do have those lines. Okay.
Yes. Oh, your thirds. Yeah, when you go to do this, when you go to crop.
Yep.
So when I look at this photograph, I want to keep this.
Yes.
That to me is more interesting than that. So if I start to zip in and put the flower, I'm starting to shift the flower, the main focus right here on the third. I want to keep some of the flower here. And I'm going to drop this down because this isn't as interesting. I could drop it down. Then I have this. Do you see how this is more dynamic, more interesting?
Yep. Way more. Yes.
And what I have is, here is the focal point. And then that's when the lines start to happen. And then here's the other guy down here. So I've got, this is the secondary. And I've got these lines back here. Do you see the sidewalk lines?
Yes.
They lead to, everything's leading to the focal point.
Okay.
And so cancel, start changing. So that's where I'm looking at those leading. Yeah. All right, so let's go to yours.
I sent you two. I sent you the stone wall with the tree in the middle. Don't laugh at it.
So cute. And look at this one. Look what's in the middle.
It's right in the middle. Yeah. Oh my gosh, what did I do? I
All right.
always do. You know what, Michelle? I always do that.
And that's, yes, you do. That's
Yeah.
okay. That's all right. A lot of
I
we all
always
do.
do that. I say, oh, I like that. I need that. And I put it right squat in the middle.
We all do that. And that's why I said put it in the middle and then shift.
Hmm.
So just allow yourself to say, I put it in the middle, go ahead and bullseye it. And once you, before you snap, shift left, shift right, then shift.
Okay.
All right,
And
let's
the
go with
same
this.
and the same thing with the tree that looked like it was in a storm. That tree is right squat in the middle of my picture.
Yeah.
You're right. Everything I do is right squat in the
It's
middle.
right squat. So let's not do that anymore. No,
Okay.
take your picture, go ahead and snap the picture, shift left, shift right, and snap again. So you're
Okay.
okay. Okay, there's nothing interesting down here.
Nothing. I moved that up. Yeah.
So we chunk this up.
Hmm.
The
Yeah. That's what I did. No, I put it, I think I used all the tree. I think I used all the tree.
you show the whole tree.
Yes, of course.
Um, it's more interesting. I mean, you can, but you can leave it, but I think it's a little bit more interesting to cut it off.
Okay.
No, I'm just now when I do this, you're on the third, so you're good. I think I like this on the third better. This would be a hard. The problem for me on this one, this shape, there's too much the same amount. You know, it feels
I think I
if
got
this
it.
were a dumbbell, it just feels too static. Let's try this. Trying to,
I did have that whole door in there on the side. I didn't think I did. I thought I cut it off.
and it gets a little weird too if I go into here.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
You know what I wanted? I wanted that walkway that came down over there. See that? Like a handicap ramp. I wanted the handicap ramp.
Oh, that walkway, I didn't even see it. Okay, Marilyn, is that an important part to
Yeah, it is.
aesthetically?
It all looks so cozy in there with the roof overhanging it.
Oh, to have a little, okay, so if we do that, so I think,
You have more of the house than the wall.
yeah.
Yeah.
So this is where you have to
You
decide,
did?
because before it felt static, this feels a little bit more balanced
Yeah. Okay.
or more interesting. So it's more about this and less
Okay.
about that.
Okay.
So let me do a screenshot and then we can,
Yeah, that's better. That's the one that I was visiting with Cheryl. And you said, why didn't you draw her? I said, oh
I
my God, you're
know.
kidding.
I mean, I get it. I get it.
I haven't seen her in so long.
Okay, let's do this where we show more of this wall. Let's do this. And then we'll talk about the comparison.
What would happen if you brought the right side in and you took away that side window? And you just have like the front of that building with the overhang? Yeah, that. If you took that in.
Okay, let's try it.
Like that.
Something else I'm doing too. Okay, I want you to notice here. Do you see how this line comes, if I crop it up a little bit higher? Do you see how this edge right here happens right here in the third? Do you see that?
Yes.
So that creates an entry point into the drawing, right?
Into the drawing. Okay.
That's kind of important. Okay. Okay. All right, so then let's look at these.
You went very dark. Oh, maybe that's me. Oh, there. It was me.
Did you go to sleep again?
No, it was just, it just kind of grayed out. And I thought, what the heck happened to it?
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait.
See, the overhang in that walkway is what caught my mind. So that's what I was really trying to get, because it looked like it was kind of nestled in there. I mean, I don't know if that's what you would have chosen, but that's what I was going for.
No, that's you were going for this in here?
Yep.
Oh, okay, that's important. So
why did you go, ooh?
I'm like, well, that's important. That's what you're drawn to. But
yeah, that's what I was
what do you
to.
see? What do you see this or what? I'm seeing this here. I'm seeing this. I'm seeing this big wall.
Yeah. Yes.
You don't really see this. Do you see how by eliminating all that wall space?
Yeah, by eliminating it. Right. Look at that. Then you're really, yep.
Here's your focal and it's off to the left side.
Mm-hmm.
We've got this big wall and it pushes you. You feel this push here, and then your focal point is to the right. So putting the window here, I don't think it really helps because I want to look at the window.
You want to look at the window?
Yeah, I'm feeling like this. Do you see the difference?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
It distracts from this. And the window really isn't helping the composition.
No.
Now here, the window, we've got this complete square right here, but it creates a little bit of a balance.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got this big white shape right here.
Right.
So this is, you've got this big wall here with this, or you've got, which one do you like better? Which one feels better to you?
Go back with the other one. Gee. The one with the window, I think.
You know, I agree. I 100% agree on this.
Yeah, the one with the window.
And it creates a nice, you know, you've got all of this over here, but the window balances it.
Balances it.
Nice way.
Yeah.
So let's
The
do.
other one felt like it was off center or something.
It was too much of this imposing. To me, this is all about that wall.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so heavy.
It
Here
is heavy.
Yeah, you get the sense of the wall without it being the wall.
Yeah.
So this is more of a vertical. And I do this myself. I'll edit and I'll turn, especially if I'm doing a drawing, I will turn it into black and white. Edit.
Most of the buildings are those exact rocks.
Oh, it's like a
And I
sandstone?
tried making a rock and a rock and a rock, and I said, no, that doesn't work. And then I tried also just doing the, like if I have a top for the wall, I'll take my
Yeah.
charcoal across and then I'll just bring it down with my finger,
Okay.
and make it just look old. Just make it just look old.
Oh, then
But
you get all that texture on there. It's lovely.
yeah, I don't get any of the texture when I do that. And it's got so much texture.
So do you see what I'm doing here?
Mm-hmm.
I'm playing with here's monotone, here's silver tone. I'm trying to think. Well, anyhow, we'll go with monochromatic.
Yeah.
And when you do this, you eliminate, now you can start to see, if you squint down, do you see the shape over here? Okay, I'll start with my edit. Yeah. Do you see what I'm dealing with right now? Tree's right in the middle.
Yep. It was easy to put it there, wasn't it?
It was super easy to put there. So I'm going to cheat.
Okay. Yeah, there's no reason why you can't move it. I don't know why I didn't move it. I just didn't. I was more interested in Cheryl.
You're fine. Okay, now I'm looking at, here's the horizon line right here at the bottom third. Do you see that?
Okay. Yep.
But I kind of like that better. I like dropping the grass down here. So if I do my thirds, I'm going to go ahead and put this building here on this third, because the overhang was the most interesting. And then it kind of shifts things over, and I'm going to fudge in the window here. And then I've got that, and I've got the, yeah. Done. There. So I'm not worried about all these rocks. I'm just quickly snagging this. And I'm putting the tree over here towards that, not quite centered. And then you see this, it creates a zigzag. This line's important, this edge. And then background trees, soft edges. The horizon line is dropped a little bit from the third. Tree, horizon line. There's even a human in there. Are they Quaker? Like, is this a period location?
Yes, it's one of the missionaries, one of the missions. There's a whole bunch of them. They're absolutely gorgeous. Oh my gosh.
So jealous. I would love to go there.
Uh,
So I've got,
you can go back to every single one of them again and again and again and find something else in which to work on.
oh, it's so lovely.
And the churches are like, oh, the the work that they put into the altars Oh, and the churches and the paintings and the colors and the just, oh my God, it's just unbelievable.
Oh, it sounds lovely. Okay, I've got some major drawing problems, but do you see how I'm getting it in so
Why do you
quickly?
have major drawing problems?
Okay, my building's too high, but when I show you how to do something, it'll take care of that. So I'm looking at the relationship, the height of the building
Uh-huh,
in relationship to this little rock that's sticking out,
yes.
because that's important. That's important. There's a little bit of a tree ball back here. Here's the horizon line here. Here's a tree here. Comes down here. Here's a dark here. There's a human here. We'll ignore it for now. And then it comes off this third, the grass over to here. And then there's just some fluff over in here. And then here's the window. And then the building top, the rooftop, there's a little bit of tree fluff up here that defines it. There, that's,
Oh, Michelle, I could watch you draw all day.
you're gonna be able to do it. I'm getting that feeling. I love. So I'm
I do
moving
love it.
around this tree. Oh, because I stopped breathing there. And then here's your dark. And then look how this comes out of the light, the gate. Yeah, good enough. Lost my chalk. I lost my charcoal. There. That's all we need.
Wow. Now, question, what would you do with the rocks on that wall? You would just leave it the way it is?
You know, that's again, you can indicate, so I don't know. You can start, I wouldn't draw every rock. I would draw definitely the edge. I would definitely come in and clean out that edge a little bit. Not all the way down, but and the rocks that come down through here, these are interesting. And they're more or less just shapes. You don't have to show all of them. And is it more about this
Yeah,
overhang?
it's more about the cut. It's more about that space between, where the handicap walkway is that, yeah, right where you just went. Yeah. That cute little nestle in there is what it's really about. Yeah.
So then that's where you want to spend your time at.
Okay.
And these can support it. Oh, wow. Look, you can create rocks just by I'm just creating some rocks here.
Are you having fun?
I'm having a blast right now, and you can too. I just use it and pull it. Just put it and pull it. Yeah. And then you can always blend it and pull it out.
Good.
And you can get the feeling of it real fast. And let's go here. This edge right here is nice and clean. And I'm drawing with my eraser now.
Nice.
I can soften this edge a little bit because I don't want it to, I want this edge to be super tight. This I can indicate the windows without it being overbearing. Do you see the difference?
Yeah, because my window has to be perfect. Not only does it have to be perfect, but I also have to make sure that I get the thing on the inside. See where that little white is and the frame on that. I always said to them, you can shoot me now.
We all do it. We all do. I mean, it's
Oh,
easy.
gosh.
It's mentally easier to do that
Oh,
than it
much,
is
much.
to do
Yeah,
this. But this,
yeah,
when you do it, this is more, did you see how fun that, you want to do that? Did you
yeah.
see how fun it was? Just up,
I know.
poke, poke, poke,
Yeah,
rock. And it's
yeah,
more interesting, and this is in the light. There's a little overhang, but I'm
yeah.
not putting a
So
lot of
that's,
detail.
no.
You get a feeling of it being there without showing all the
Oh
detail.
my gosh. I'll get there. I'll get there.
You will. You can keeping that, and it really, what's important here, where's your focal point?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Where's the sharpest edge? The tightest
Mm-hmm.
edge is right here. Do you see that right here?
Yep.
So that's your tightest edge. This is your focal point in here.
Mm-hmm.
And everything else supports. And you can indicate with soft edges and it's done.
Yeah. You see the front of that? You, of course, I'm pointing to it on my computer, and you're not seeing what I'm pointing out. But you see the roof line, the overhang. You
Yeah,
see how it's like dark on the bottom, and you got that white line on the top. I would make sure that that white line was so absolutely perfect on the top of that dark.
well,
That, I mean, that's how kind of detailed that I get with it, and I don't have to be. I'm watching you, and
you
I'm going, why do I have to be so detailed? Why do I have to have everything so perfect on it?
you don't have to.
No, I don't have to.
There, I put just a little indicator.
Just an indicator. Yeah. Now mine had to be the perfect whole way. Yeah.
So
Wow.
allow
I'm
yourself,
anal. I'm anal. What can I tell you?
no, so, something, it's funny. My dad, he was cute. He would talk about this. He saw this painting of a horse, and it just looked like the horse was coming right off that painting. He loved that, and he loved that really tight finished look, which isn't what I
Yeah.
do. And he was cute. He was just really cute. He found this napkin that had a rose, it's a napkin with a
Yeah.
rose on it, drawn. That was kind of a
Yes.
drawing of one. And he brought that napkin, and there's millions of napkins out there, right, of this rose. And it looked exactly like a rose, all the details. And he goes, Michelle, see this rose? This is how you draw a rose.
Oh, wow. See?
And I said, Dad, that's someone else's drawing. I don't want
Yeah.
to copy someone else's drawing.
Yeah.
And he put the napkin away. Because it's not my intention. I can draw a perfect rose. I can show the detail. I know how to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not interested in getting a perfect drawing. I'm interested in getting a gesture of feeling. Because when I
Mm.
open up that space and someone walks by and they see that essence, they're like, whoa, that looks exactly what I see without seeing all the detail.
Mm-hmm.
You get that feeling.
I did yellow roses in
Yeah.
charcoal. I don't know if I can find the picture. I did yellow roses in charcoal. My wonderful husband used them for his senior art class. And I
That's
said to him, you got to be freaking kidding me. Yellow roses? You want me to do yellow roses in charcoal? Right. So I'm in the back of the class. I'm in the back of the class with my charcoal and my easel. And I'm looking at it and I'm looking at it. And I said, just do the shading. just do the shading, just do the
Good for you.
darks,
Yes.
just do the darks. And
Good.
it came out beautiful.
Yes. Did you hear?
Absolutely beautiful. I
Yes.
just did the
The
shading.
shadows.
Sold it. Well, I didn't sell it, but I gave it away like so fast. So I had it on my easel at home, and Cheryl happened to come in. She says, "Can I have that? It's gorgeous." I said, "Yep, take it." You know, I'll
Wound Care
look,
Methodist.
I'll look to see if I'll look to see if I can find it. You know, but I don't know if I have the picture of that one.
That's exactly. All you did was draw the shadow shapes,
That's all I did. That's all I
and
did.
the roses popped out.
They popped.
That's what I'm teaching in this class.
Yeah, I know.
If
That's
we
what you're
draw,
teaching us.
so do you need to grab that?
No, I let it go to voicemail. But let me show you what I'm going to attempt because of that. Because I know that I can do this if I just shade it. So I'm going to send it to you.
Okay.
This is from one of the missions. This is near the main door on one of the missions. It'll give you an idea of what they do. They absolutely loved their churches. It
That's
shows.
beautiful. Okay.
Now,
Let's look at it.
if I just do the shading on that, that should work.
Yes. And the challenge here, yes, you're absolutely right. And the problem with this photo is, yeah. So when I'm gonna download it, and let me go into something here. This is the,
I have
okay.
another one.
So here, this is a two-tone. This is a C value app that I have. So I can do, this is 2 levels, that's 3, that's 4, and that's the black and white. And if you just do the shadows, that's what it would look like.
Yeah.
So the challenge here is to go from the black and white and only draw in, you would only draw the shadow shape. So literally this whole shape of the man is the white of the page.
Yes.
And then you would just indicate the face. You wouldn't draw the face, but you would do
No.
these as shadow shapes.
Yeah.
Now let's crop this thing. So it's,
I sent you another one that's maybe a little easier.
okay, let's see.
Is that easier?
Okay, let's talk about this. Just looking at it, which one is more interesting? This one or this one?
Well, if you're just looking at the statue, that one.
Okay. If I'm looking at, okay. So let's hold this space for a moment. Okay, where is the statue at in this photo?
It is right alongside the main door. See the main door?
I
But
know,
look at
but
how high he sits. See how
I'm
high
looking,
he sits?
it's cool, but I'm looking at the photo. Where is main guy? Where is he? He's right in the middle. He's
Yes.
right.
Oh, yes.
He's right in the middle.
Oh, that's right where I would put him. Don't smack me.
Training your
Oh
eye
my
here,
gosh.
training your eye. And when I look at this, there's nothing really interesting here, right?
No.
So if I pull him over here, he's on the third. Now, the problem you have with this, you have one that shows the whole wall.
I don't have one that shows the whole wall.
The
No, because
problem,
what I was going to do is I just wanted to see if I could do him, actually. That's why I
okay,
took the picture so close. Yeah.
okay, but
I just wanted to see if I could accomplish it.
okay, you can. But when you do this, and I would get in trouble from a friend of mine who does photography, always take a picture zoomed out and then zoom in.
Okay.
So when you crop like this,
Mhm.
you're kind of, and the problem here, but this is an opportunity to learn something. When you take a picture, you never want to split. This is almost right down the middle of the door. You see how the arch comes up? It looks like it's right
Right.
in the middle.
Mhm.
And I feel like it would be better to have more of the door.
Right. Okay.
Because if I start doing this, it's getting a little chunked up.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
I'm just looking at the overall composition.
I think that's the way it shows on the other one, except it's more on the top and bottom of the statue.
He's up higher like that.
Yeah.
This is kind of cool because he's up higher in the drawing.
Yes.
And and the problem here is this becomes a focal point. This is the hardest edge.
Mhm.
So if you did it, you would have to not make that the hardest edge. And this is where you can compose on your when you're in your drawing. That's where you get to be the artist, the composition. And you would just make your hardest edge over here on the face. So, and I'm not going to attempt to draw this.
I never do choose anything easy. I looked at that. I actually, Shay, who's like oh my God, she's an oil painter, and she actually painted that.
I bet it's
And
gorgeous.
oh, it's gorgeous. And everything she does is gorgeous. And she's, and I took a picture. First off, I said to her, I said, what are you, out of your brick? You know, I said, oh my goodness. I mean, it was just like so beautiful. And so I took a picture because I just wanted to see if I could do it. You know, it wasn't for a drawing, like I would give away. I just wanted to,
You
I
just want
just
to play
wanted to
with it.
challenge yeah, I just wanted to challenge myself.
I think you can have fun with this. But when you do it, this will become your tightest edge right here.
Is the hardest edge like always wind up being a focal point on whatever it is that you're drawing?
Your focal point is the darkest dark. Yeah, the hardest edge.
The hardest edge.
That's a good question. So just like, okay, just like we have, when you go outside and you look, the brightest color is closest to you. And off in the distance, the color gets grayer, right? It falls away. That's atmospheric perspective. Edges do the same thing. The closer something is to you, the harder the edge. The further away, the edges get soft and fuzzy. So edges have a range, just like color goes from bright to gray.
Right.
Edges go from hard to soft.
Soft.
Generally speaking, the hardest edge happens, the darkest dark and the lightest light. Not always. But that's how you could use edges to control where you look at.
Oh,
So
wow. Okay.
I'll do that on this drawing, this quick drawing real quick. So in the picture, when I look at it, the hardest edge on the picture is right here.
Right there. Yes.
So if I, if I do that, I'll just do this. And this will be softer. If I create the hardest edge right here, and I'll keep the value down. I won't do the value so dark. This is the darkest dark, the lightest light is right there.
Mm-hmm.
But if I create this, okay,
That's where my eye's going to go.
you see that?
Yes,
Your eye will go right here.
right there.
And, you know, let's just go ahead and reinforce it with the darkest dark and the lightest light.
Yeah. I won't even see the statue.
You're looking right here.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
just like the window, do you remember with the window, I had it all kind of soft and fuzzy? Soft edge
Yes.
here.
Yes. On the house. Yes.
Soft edge there. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to really tighten up. My stuff is falling apart. Okay, I'm going to really tighten up right here.
Okay.
So
Yes.
do you see how now this becomes?
Yeah.
And I can
Absolutely.
soften it. And even it's really easy to get caught up in all these little things around here, this edge here around it. But I don't need to draw all that. Because if I make this really tight around it, then it's going to compete with him.
Okay.
But I will say this. So if I make this a tighter edge right in here, this could be the next tightest. So it could be
Okay.
tight, but not as tight as that, or
The
as,
value has to be a little less.
yeah, the value's less. The edges are
And
a little bit looser, and it's
Okay.
not so light and dark.
Okay.
Yeah, you can make an edge either making a crisp edge, or you could have a value beside it, and that will soften it.
Okay. Neat.
So that's how you can control that.
Okay. Beautiful. So you're going to draw him?
No.
You didn't take very long to answer that, Michelle. Didn't take you no time at all.
Maybe if I had some history with him and then gone there with friends and got to experience him, but I'm like, but you can see how, first of all, lessons here. Take a bigger, wide angle, crop it in,
Right.
bullseye them, because you bullseye, you just do it, own it, and shift left, take a snap, shift right, take a snap. Or just when you just practice that. And then when you sit down and draw, you automatically said one little tiny thing. So you want to ask yourself, what am I interested in? Well, let's go back to for this drawing.
Okay.
Your first thing was you like that little pathway.
Yes. Sorry.
You zeroed in.
Maybe I felt like being nestled that day or something, but
but we're just going to open your focus. So just own it. You bullseyed in. I love that little pathway. And your next thing was, it led to that overhang. Okay.
Yes.
So the pathway is not, it's just a way to get into the picture. It's not a detail focused subject. but your focus was underneath the overhang. So you can allow yourself to, ooh, I love that little pathway, and allow yourself to say, and it leads to my focal point.
Okay.
And then when I go to draw it, I don't put the focal point right in the middle of the page. I draw
Yeah.
draw your lines and shift it over.
Could you hold that drawing up again with the pathway and the focal point? Ah, okay. All right. I see what you did. Okay.
And I took a picture. So
Yes.
I think did I show that with this in the group?
Yes. But you took, but you did the,
No, I didn't take this one. The other one. Let me do this one. There we go. And you can see my thirds. You could see my third lines, you know, the cross
yes.
hatching. You can see, yeah. Yeah, you can see where they're at, okay?
Okay.
So let me write this. So sit, look, but you're gonna name one thing because you keep doing this, and then ask, where does it lead me to?
Okay.
And then shift, draw your thirds. I'm making notes. Draw thirds, 1/3, and shift focal, left to right. Okay. And then I'm gonna draw my thirds on here so that they make sense. Then I'll take a picture of it.
Beautiful. Okay. Got it. Got it.
Now let me tell you one more thing real quick. And I don't know if this is okay. I'm not sure if this is too much, but just let this one wash over you, okay? Because now what we're going to do something a little bit, just let it wash. I've got my sketchbook.
Okay.
And you use a 9x12? Are you using 9x12 when you draw?
I use for my sketchbook.
Yeah, when you go out. What size do you use?
Oh, it depends on what I'm looking at and what I'm planning on doing.
That's fair.
Right? It depends on what I'm looking at and what I'm planning on doing.
Typically, what do you use?
Typically, I use a
8x10?
An 8x10. That's
Okay.
my what do you call that thing? That's my
Frame? Mat
frame.
board.
Yes, my mat board.
We can get it out.
But then I do 5x8 sketchbook.
Okay, 5x8 is better, I think. Well, anyhow, I'll show you what I do with this. When I go out, I'll take my sketchbook and I'm looking at my view. And I've got a pencil in my hand. And what I do is I block out what I'm looking at. So I'm no longer looking through a frame.
Okay.
You know, we've got the viewfinder that we're looking through. Now I'm using this as my viewfinder, but I'm blocking out the view.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then what I do is I find my horizon line and I make a mark. And then if there's a tree, I drop a tree, the edge of a building, a post. I drop my verticals.
Okay.
And then what I do is I line up my horizon line. And then I mark where the tree is, and I make a mark where the tree is, where the building is, where the other objects are.
Okay.
So I'm making marks on my page where all the horizontal lines are and where all the vertical lines are.
Oh, okay.
So as I'm saying that, let's look at something real quick. I'll show you. And that's something that I did. I did 75 watercolors up and down I-75, and I got to the point where I was I can never find these. Oh, folks, there we go. What was happening is this was something that I would do. And it worked out real quickly. It happened pretty fast. And let me see. I'm trying to see if I can stage this on here. Yeah, okay, perfect. So what I do, I've got this view, and get my camera. Okay, so I've got,
Like you're looking outside on that view.
yeah, I'm sitting looking at this
Okay.
view, and I hold my sketchbook up like this. I block out what I want to paint and draw. And then I shift it over, and I want less sky. I make a mark where that bridge is. And then I drop it down, and then I make a mark where the I forget what they're called, pieces of bridge, right? And that's where these lines are. What are those things called? You know, those big things. And I've got a tree here. So I'm marking where all these verticals are. And then I line up my top of my building, or for me, I use the top of the bridge here. And then I make a mark where these things are.
Okay.
And then I come over here and I might make a mark where this tree is.
Okay.
So now I can start laying in these things in relationship to one another very quickly. And then this big tree is over here. And now I've got, oh, can you see? I'm
Yeah,
drawing,
now I
you
can
can't
see,
even
yes.
see me.
You're drawing on your lap, yes.
Oh, fiddle. I didn't mean to do that. Okay, so then
Okay.
what I've got is I've got the top of the bridge here. I've got those stanchions or whatever they're called here. I've got the spacing.
Yeah.
And now I can start to easily and very quickly lay in. Here's this tree over here, and I end up cropping here. And then now I can see how quickly I can start laying in things.
Yes. Yes.
And what I loved about this is I was able to get the relationship of this tree to this bridge very quickly.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Yes.
And once I got the horizon line established and the verticals, and it could be a tree, it could be these bridge things. Once I do that, then it just lays in so fast. It's unbelievable. See how quickly it goes?
Yes.
And I get that feeling of that space that quickly.
Wow, nice. And you do that with the knowledge. See, when you did that, I had that bridge right squat in the middle, just like what it is. See? When you did that, you already had it off to the side, not in the, yeah. You already had it, you already had repositioned it before you even started drawing. You shoved it over, probably from experience.
I've been doing this a lot longer than you.
Yeah, that's from experience. You automatically brought it to the side.
Yeah. And I spent a lot of time. Well, I went to a Ian Roberts has a book called Mastering Composition, and I took a workshop with him, and we went up. It was up in Canada, 9-hour drive north. And for the first, it was a week-long, 5-day workshop, and for 3 days, it was setting up still lifes. We had a background that we picked. He had objects. We picked them. We had to pick a fabric. We had a light. And we composed, like here, we put together a still life. He would walk by, look at it, and say, no.
Ouch.
Wait, no.
Ah.
So you had to try to create a composition. He talked in the morning about how you lead your eye through, how you position things.
Yeah.
And he taught us how to make a composition that was interesting. So that was one of the things that when I first started, I need to find composition. So that was my focus, finding an interesting composition. How does the eye lead in? Where am I going to? Where's the path go to? Where's the interest points? Not in the middle, to the left or to the right. So, and that's when through practice, to get a more interesting composition through practice, you get better at it quicker. So you saw me doing it quickly because I've been doing it focused. I've focused on it for so many years.
Yeah. Not just quickly, when you were doing it, you didn't center the bridge. I mean, that's what because you've done it for so long, you automatically know that I can't put this bridge in the middle. I have to put this bridge over here. Yeah. I put everything in the middle. I never realized that. I put everything in the middle.
You do own it.
Because
Just
I want you to see it.
that's what I'm looking at, and I got bullseye it. But
Yeah.
it's just, well, you see, it's not as interesting when it makes it a static composition.
Yeah. Wow. Beautiful. Thank you so much. You're so smart. I want to thank you. You really do go way above and beyond. I was telling somebody, I says, this woman's only got 2 students at $75 each. I says, she has spent more time with preparing and with us. And then she's given us private lessons besides.
Well, no, you're getting
amazing, Michelle.
75. Nancy's paying 150. You're getting 75 because you're my
Aw.
special pancake.
Well, I didn't give them the price. That was just like in myself, I was thinking 75, but
All
it's
right,
just like
yeah.
unbelievable. You know, you really are unbelievable. You are very, very giving woman.
I love doing
So,
this, and right now I have the time, and this is what I love doing.
wow,
So,
nice.
and
Well, one of the reasons that I bought a new computer was because we're moving, of course, and I have more room for my stuff.
yes.
My other computer, I could not unplug it because it would die immediately.
Oh, the battery's gone. Yeah.
Yes. So this new computer, I can use it on my desk to do the bills and to do my jigsaw puzzles and stuff like that.
Yay.
But when it comes time to do my artwork, I'm going to buy a little table that I can move this computer to and have my own little art space.
Perfect.
So that is the main reason why I bought the computer. I said, because I'm sorry, I've been, like I need to be able to do this for me because this is something that I really love doing.
You're really
And,
taking off with that
and
too.
I said, I'm going to went because Jean says, what kind of table? I will let you know when I move, when we move and I start putting things around. I said,
Yeah,
I want a space designated away from the business and the jigsaw puzzles, you know, for me to do my art like he has over there. And then his computer is over there,
so
his
you want
space.
that space. You're
I
taking
want
yourself
that space.
seriously. You're
I want
taking
that
your,
space. Yeah.
you're taking
Because
yourself
I
seriously.
keep telling Jean, because we have had like, it's unbelievable. I mean, you're giving me these wonderful lessons and thank you so much for videoing them because I am going to go over and over and over and over. We have been so swamped with looking for an apartment, having Jean with his stupid kidney, you know, his kidneys, having me with IVIG every 28 days. That takes 3.5 hours to do out of our lives. And it's just like, you know, we have been so like shoved down. And I said, and I keep telling him, I said, when we get to the new apartment, I said, because that was the one thing that I said, I don't care about the master bedroom. I don't care, definitely don't care about the master bedroom, has a stupid garden tub in it. We'll both wind up in the hospital. And so I said, I don't care about any of that. But when I went into the guest bedroom, I went, oh, look at the space we have. You know, I got so excited because now I can have my own art space. And I
That's
told Gina, I said, I know I have it. I know that I can be really loose and really good, but I haven't had the time to do
yeah,
it
that's amazing.
or the space. So
Or the
now
space.
that's one of the reasons I bought this baby, you know, that I'm working
It's
on
beautiful.
because, yeah, because I need to move it. You know, I need to move it just from my desk to my art. It'll probably wind up being on my art table way more than on my desk. And that's where
Mm.
it should be.
So
Yeah.
this is why I love teaching.
Yeah. Like I charged this up. Oh my gosh. I charged this
You're
up. I think we bought it a week ago, 2 weeks ago, and it's still 3/4 charged.
nice.
And this is after a huge download, you
Yeah,
know. Yeah. So
awesome.
it's amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
I love my charcoal. I keep going back. I love my charcoal, you know.
That's
And then
there's
when I see you create with it, you know, because normally what you're doing is just to still lifes with us. But when I see you taking a picture that I did and create with it, I go, damn, I can do that.
you can do that.
I can do that. Yeah.
So you can do that. The where I started well, I I did trees for 30 days, just quick drawings, trees, that's it.
Mm,
And then I was able to go big. But just working the material, doing that.
yeah. Well, we have a backyard where we're going. Did I tell you?
No,
We're
you
not
get to
overlooking.
play out there too.
Yes, we are not overlooking a parking lot, and we don't have a dumpster right outside our door.
Perfect.
Yeah, we actually have a backyard. Yeah. And we
Awesome.
have a
So you
porch
get to
and we have a
play.
porch, a beautiful big porch and a backyard.
Awesome.
And
Perfect.
it's so easy to get to it. And there's trees and there's little things out there. And the building itself is so neat. I don't even need to go anywhere. So I can just go right there. You know,
Perfect.
it's so neat. Yeah, I'm so excited. Both of us are so excited that we've got this.
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's cool. Yep.
Great lesson.
Yeah. It is a great lesson. Thank you. Thank you.